is happening, Magnusites? I'm going to invite Scarlo in for this because this should be interesting. But so the ladies, some group of ladies, got together the other day, and they did a list that let us know where to never take them on a first date. Us as men. I went over that with y'all. Had Scarlo here for it. Waiting for her to get up here now for this list. So, men got together and put together a list, and this is a list of women that we should never date. Okay. So I wanted her in here for this to give her opinion on it, because I'm sure, she has a son one day. There's certain women she's going to be cool with him dating. Some women she's probably not going to be cool with. Correct?
Correct.
So, number one is single mothers. Now, single mothers for me is not a complete no, but it is the majority of the time. There have been a few women that I've dated in the past that may have had a little child, a little girl, a little boy, whatever. I won't date a woman with a child unless she has her stuff straight. She got to have her life in line, or I'm not dating them, period. The majority of the time, or some of the time, there is, there can be, baby father drama and other things related to that. A past relationship that's always going to be there. There's the whole fact that you got to help raise this child at some point, especially if y'all get married. You're either going to be the father or father figure, depending on how you take on that role. You got to do the whole, you might have to go through the whole, you ain't my dad, you ain't my real dad. It's just a whole lot of stuff that men aren't going to want to deal with.
Right.
Now, what do you think about single mothers?
I kind of think, and I mean, I don't have any kids of my own, but I know a lot of single mothers who do have their stuff together, who have 1 kid, 2 kids, has gone to school, got their degree, great job, finances in order. Somebody like that, I think it would be all right, because it's like, there's nothing for you to worry about in that aspect. And if you're raising your son or daughter the right way, they'll have respect for whoever you allow.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. The single mother has to be comfortable with whoever she's allowing to be around her kid. So if they're respectful and, they have this understanding and respect to where they kind of won't come out crazy like, well, you're not my dad. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks, because let's say you get together with somebody who has kids and you get married. And let's say for whatever reason there's child support or whatever. If they don't pay that falls on you. That falls on you.
On who? The man?
Yeah.
They could.
That's both
depending on
ways.
The woman. Depending on how the woman.
No, I'm just saying in general, if you get married and something happens with that, like if you're dealing with somebody who's not, who don't have their stuff together.
Well, that's what I was saying. There's complications.
But there's complications with that, yeah. But I think if like you said, if the woman has to have her stuff straight, but I hear a lot of men more times than not saying that they wouldn't go for a woman who has children. They prefer.
That's just less complications.
Yeah.
Next, women with tattoos.
See, I have tattoos. But you need to speak on that. Because you're dealing with me. You're a high value man.
So, no women with tattoos the majority of the time with me also. There are certain women that the way they wear their tattoos, the tattoos that they get, it really accentuates their beauty. However, I don't see that much. To me, I don't see that much. There's only a few women I can think of offhand where I'm like, you know what? That really looks sexy on her. But it's not all the time. If this didn't work out, would I date another woman with tattoos? Yes, if it was sexy, if it was right. However, there are certain tattoos that make women look trashy.
Yeah, that's true.
I was never a guy that had a problem with tramp stamps, but it's how it's done. It's what it is. There's a difference. But I never called them tramp stamps. Then one day, somebody I knew said, "Oh yeah, she got a tramp stamp." I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's when they got it right there." And I'm like, a tramp is an old word. It's like floozy. It's like an old word for, Now, as far as she goes, her tattoos, like, I hardly notice them. That's my printer acting up. I hardly notice them. She's got a tattoo on her lower back, and that was something, like, especially when I first met her, the guys that saw it was like, "Yo, man, she's sexy as hell," you know what I mean? And, I still like it, but it's all the one, like, for example, there's this woman I just talked to, and she's got one of them chandelier-looking things
it's like
underneath
a Rihanna tattoo.
I can't stand that. And the fact that you laid there and let some dude all around your breastises. See, certain tattoos, I'm like, okay, well, I know what you had to do to get that. I know what you had to expose to this other man to get that. So you did all that, exposed all this to this dude so that you could get that. And that was cool with you. You was fine.
So he's not okay with that. To some guys, that may be something real small.
You was
but
real
he looks
comfortable.
into stuff like that.
I look at stuff like that. There's a chick that I used to mess with that's all tattooed up, just like certain strippers, all tattooed up and pierced twice somewhere. And I told her one day, I said, "You want me to get with you and marry you? You went to a dude and spread your legs twice to have him do that. Why would I want a woman that would do that? Your modesty is in the trash. It's in the basement. The garbage.
Oh, babe.
Why would I want you?" I'm sorry. Like, to me, certain piercings, they're a no for me. To me, they're just trashy. Next, women who dress like this in public. Oh, so I think that was talking about the list of the girls, and it had the girl's picture next to it.
Oh.
That's what I think it was talking about. There's a certain way to dress. You can be sexy and modest all at the same time. Yeah. That's all I will say about that. SEX workers, OnlyFans girls, mattress actresses, strippers, call girls escorts. Yeah, that's a
Instagram
huge no.
models.
That's a huge no.
Bottle girls.
A huge no. No, we don't. Bottle girl, maybe. She might be classy. She's just selling champagne. But,
that you know of.
Oh, no, I'm serious. Like, I messed with a bottle girl before. I did. She was cool. She was, she was even a Miller Lite girl or whatever. Yeah, but that's as far as it went. You know what I'm saying? Now, but that is a precursor sometimes. It starts small to where you got to dress skimpy, and then it can,
you almost have to dress
where's your line?
Like strippers.
Yeah, sometimes. It depends. Yeah, it depends. Yeah. But as a woman, you would say don't date none of that.
Instagram models.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a problem with Instagram models.
Instagram models are okay because if it's a business...
Because there's levels to it.
Because it's almost like don't date anybody who's got a YouTube channel. Like Instagram models, as long as they are classy, they are respectable, you're out here like bombshell models. Those are Instagram models.
I thought you said bottle girls. That was part of the list. I missed it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you
Instagram
thought of that.
Models.
Okay, so women with an Instagram page, it says I don't have a problem with that. I know that was a Kevin Samuels thing, but you can tell by the pictures that she takes and that she shares who she is. There's certain girls that are twerking on, everything's about their butt or their boobs or certain angles to show off their body. That's a different thing. take it case by case.
Yeah.
But I understand the men that want that true modesty to it. But I've seen like these Muslim girls with the perfect makeup and these, you know, they wear the headdress, the hijab and everything, and they're gorgeous women.
Yeah.
But they're modest. I'm okay with that. But I know there's men, they just don't want you showing off to the world as if you want attention or need attention from other people. I get that. Sometimes you're just sharing with your friends and family, and it's not an ego thing. It's just you're doing it, and I get it.
I remember one time somebody on Instagram asked me, "Oh, why don't you post a full body pic or something?" I rarely post full body pics and butt pics and sink pics. I can get over 1,000 likes with just my face alone. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but you don't need to do all that extra stuff just to get likes on Instagram. And that's what guys are looking at. Like, you got these Instagram girls who are on Instagram posting, you know, like what we saw earlier, posing like all this.
Yeah, we was watching Coach Greg, and Coach Greg was doing how girls be posing, and that's funny.
Guys, look at that. Yeah. Guys, look at that.
Women with non-ear piercings. That's funny. Listen, I've seen plenty of beautiful women with nose rings. That's fine, depending on the type and how it's done.
I have a nose ring.
Ears are fine.
Anymore,
yeah, she used to have one. She told me. Nose rings. I wouldn't want you to wear a nose ring now. I don't think that's a thing.
I don't wear the hoop ones because I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah,
that's like a small diamond.
The bowl thing.
I don't do
those
that.
Neither. I don't like those. I've seen, and it's rare. It's kind of like the tattoo thing. It's rare that I see a chick that rocks that and it's hot. It's rare for me. But yeah, then once you start, no nipple piercings, no coochie piercings. I don't want none of that. No eyebrow piercings, no lip piercings. I messed with this one chick that had one. No tongue piercings. Because all that says is I like you know what. You know what your favorite activity is. And whether that means that to you or not, or whether you like doing that or not, that's still what people think.
They got those dimple piercings that they put.
Those are I actually kind of like those.
I think I've seen girls that look cute with them.
That really works for me with certain chicks, and I've even seen where some of them will have two right here, where that has actually worked, or two on their lower back, right above the butt, and that works. It's not something I would normally go for, but there's certain women that can pull it off, and they still look sexy, and you can still take them home. You know what I mean? But that's not most. Yeah. Women with purple hair or any other unnatural color. Now, here's the thing. I'm fine with colored hair. But it's like the tattoos. It depends. Because nowadays, the whole purple and crazy colored hair thing is a whole woke thing that, you know, they've taken that over. Like, that's like a stereotype. Yeah. But then you've got women that say the bright red hair. But you've got someone like Eva Marie. Is it? Eva Marie? And then you got Sexy Red. They both rock it differently.
Yeah.
I'll probably find the pictures and put them in here to the side so you guys can see. Two different ways of rocking that.
There was one time where he saw a picture of a hairstyle, and the girl had like kind of like greenish, bluish hair. He was like, "Yo, you would look good with that." And I'm like, to me, that's an extreme to go from this to a different color. But what was that?
It was when all the bad Jones was rocking that green. Even Kylie Jenner was, and green. Some of them was gray.
I think stuff like that in moderation, or it depends on the hairstyle.
But it depends on the girl, how the contrast with her skin, how she carries herself. Because Sexy Red and Eva Marie, two different women. Yeah. And if you don't know which one I would take, then have your head examined. Women with with
304
with promiscuous friends.
304.
I've never cared about that because it was more about the woman I was dating, but I get it because sometimes they bring your woman into situations that can get them in trouble. And I get that. I totally get that. I don't really examine your friends to see if they are, so I can date you. Like if I'm talking to her for a few months and I'm like, okay, everything is great. And I meet her friends and I'm like, Fume is all these chicks is wild. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop talking to her. Right. I won't even have questions for her. Because certain girls know they girls is 304s and they know when to hang with them and not when to hang with them. And interject at any time.
Models too, but then I forgot what I was going to say.
Models who market to men. That's almost the whole Instagram thing. It's like, we know what you marketing for.
Right, and that's kind of like a self-explanatory. Like we know why you're modeling.
But it could be it could be more of like they only do swimsuits or Victoria's Secret. Even though that's marketed to women, men love it.
No, yeah, that's true. I guess it does.
There are certain models that market to men to where you're only in certain promotions because you know it's going to attract men in for business, and they have to be hypersexual. I guess
when it comes to lingerie, that's probably the biggest thing I can think of. Yeah. That and maybe like workout
stuff
clothes,
like that. Calendar girls.
Yeah,
and they might not even get naked, but it's like I know what they mean by that. Yeah, I prefer not. I don't know if I could date a calendar girl because I know dudes are hanging you on their wall and doing stuff. So, women who travel regularly, that doesn't matter to me. I think some men think it's like they're going to get into trouble in different states and stuff when they're not around them.
There's a lot of women who travel. First of all, men or women, like there should be nothing depriving you of traveling and seeing the world if that's what you want to do.
I think that's a girl's trip thing too. Girl trip!
But yeah, if it's like a girl's trip type of thing, like you told me a little story.
I dated a chick who told me, she told me this in the first couple weeks of us dating. I gotta get some condoms because I'm going to Jamaica. I'm like...
And you're supposed to be... How does that work? They're supposed to think that they were going to get you?
And she didn't understand it. And I said that the fact that you don't get it is amazing. And that lets me know everything I need to know. Yeah. And she called me like 2 days later. I decided not to take anything because I thought about what you said and it made sense. I'm like, this...
See, and I think it is what you're saying. Like, guys think of the whole girls' trip.
I was talking to her right before I started talking to her. Now you know who it was.
I knew who it was before you even said that. Like, that's why I said you told me. Yeah. But I think, like, I actually think it's a good thing for you to be able to have your individuality to the point where you can travel without your partner, or you can travel without somebody else. It's okay, but if this is like a girls' trip type of thing, I know a lot of guys, depending on who you're going on that trip with, is what worries them, I think. Because if you're going with a whole bunch of single chicks, there's nothing holding them back from doing what they want to do.
Well, some men just think you just going to get some wee-wee, some foreign wee-wee. I mean, some women are, but I don't know. I had a girlfriend who went on a couple of trips. It didn't bother me. Yeah. Women who drink liquor regularly, that's a problem. That's a problem.
That's horrible. If
I find out you always got to have some wine, you always got to have, let's get some drinks. Nope. Nope. Because she's going to age badly. Mm-hmm. And also her alcoholism could be definitely be an issue.
Yeah.
Women with weak or absentee fathers. I dated one before you. He was a beta male. And if I tell you the whole story, it's a horror story. And you will be like, and it's got a whole lot to do with a whole lot that's going on today.
Alrighty.
And when I was like, whoa, but I saw it coming. And there was a dynamic between her mother and her father that she tried to imitate with me unknowingly. And I understood because her mother ran the house. She was in charge. And she was masculine. And I got it. I was like, I'm just going to tell you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And when they're absent, I will date a woman who hasn't had a father in her life. But, it's kind of like me. I came up without a father. I turned out pretty damn good. It took time for me to develop as a man. But yes, if I had but here's the thing. Certain fathers you may not want in a child's life. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it depends. But yes, for the most part, children need their mothers and fathers in the house for proper development. I just need to talk to her. I need to understand what's going on in her brain. Once I see that her mother may have raised her correctly, then I'm like, fine. You get what I'm saying? What do you think? She has such a great relationship with her father. That's her little teddy bear. She might start crying already because she loves him so much.
I mean, I know women who don't have their fathers in their lives and their mothers raised them very well to be honest women, hardworking women.
I'm gonna tell you who her dad looks like. Her dad looks like older Krillin with glasses, with the hair with the bushy mustache. That shit. That looks like. Let me see. Women who live alone. I don't have a problem with that. If you moved out of the house, you got your own job, you're doing your thing. I don't care. Yeah. It's like I know she's. Like, that doesn't bother me. You don't have to live home with your family. Why wouldn't you want someone
where you can... First of all, I mean, at this point, that's why I'm just like, I don't know what they're trying to say.
Yeah, I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Because a woman who
lives alone can show you, just like a man can live alone, they can pay their own bills, they can maintain themselves, they can work hard and have the things that they want.
Yeah, but the guys listening to you are going to be like, yeah, well, those are all masculine traits. We don't care about that. That's what they're going to say. But...
Well, the whole taking care. What I'm saying is, you still have to pay your bills. That's not a masculine trait. That's that's
just
a
being an adult.
responsibility.
Just being an adult. Yeah. So I get
bills.
what you mean by that. Yeah. That makes absolute sense.
So I feel like that kind of I need more with that.
Yeah. Tell me what that means, fellas. Is that more about her having dues that might come through, or?
Maybe.
I don't. I guess, but.
Because what if they didn't? What if they live with? family?
It don't matter.
Privacy.
Yeah, even if they live with family, women still that are promiscuous sneak guys in and out, or they go to the guy's house. So it almost doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to me. Women with party voice. I don't know. I thought about that because I saw. Is that the girls with the raspy voice? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Or is it, hey, guys, let's party? Is that what it is? I don't understand what party voice is. Women on dating apps. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. Because...
If you're dating. But if you're in a relationship, then you shouldn't be on a dating app.
No, that's... So they won't... If you're on a dating app, they won't date you.
Well, if they're never taking on a date. So this isn't somebody that they're with. This is somebody who you're just taking on a date. You don't want to take somebody on a date.
And you find out that they're still on a dating app?
Yeah.
If they're still on and they're dating you, I mean... Well, first of all, that's not something I would think to ask. Yeah. But if it's our first date and her profile is still up, well, she don't know if things are going to work out with you anyway.
Same thing with guys. Like, what are you doing, sir?
Yeah. But if we're dating, and then, of course, it's like if I find out you still got an active profile,
at some point it's going to
at least make it private or dormant, know?
Right.
We could take it totally down and make a new one. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Women who have been on Fresh and Fit.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, because they always invite a lot of women who are going to... They're going to get those views. They're going to say dumb stuff, ignorant stuff, feminist stuff. They're going to say stuff that, really brings in the views that they can, combat them with. Women with lists. Well, here's the thing. Do you have a list? Did you have a list?
Of what, like things that I look for in a guy, or a list like
No. There's women that, I got a list. He got, or...
Well, I did have somewhat of a list, yeah.
Okay. So, it depends, though.
But it wasn't a strict list, because everybody's not the same.
To me, she should have standards just like you should. I got a list.
You need to have a job. You need to be ambitious, good looking, hardworking, a family man, friendly, funny. You need to make me laugh. More importantly, you need to be able to make love to my mental before my body, because if you ain't got me mentally, you ain't gonna get none of me. That's just me. You've got to be able to hold a conversation. You got to be able to be intellectual and hold a conversation.
Well, she gets a load of me. Ooh.
See now.
Ooh.
Okay, she's getting hot. So, but yeah, like, but those are standard qualities I think that any woman would want in a man. Anything, like.
I know what they mean.
You know what I'm saying?
There's these women that are so, I got a list. First off, I know what they're talking about.
For me, it's just like,
you got to have prerequisites. You should, and a woman should have her standards.
Yeah.
But I know what they mean by that. There's some nuance to that list. Women who have been engaged. I get that because a lot of times it didn't work out.
And then you're going to be like, why? Why didn't it work out? What happened?
That doesn't entirely place the burden on her as being damaged or damaged goods or you shouldn't date her. That doesn't bother me because I've met women I know a girl who divorced her husband after she found out that he cheated on her before they were ever engaged. She was not playing. And she was one of the only women that I ever thought to date that had a child. She was divorced, but she was doing her thing and she had everything in check. And I worked with her and everybody wanted her. Everybody on the job wanted her. So, But yeah, those are outliers. But yes, I know exceptions don't mean the rule. I get that with all of this. But I'm a little, torn with some of these, as I've already given my, But divorcees. It depends. I need to hear her story. I need to hear her story. Because as long as she was in her last relationship, that was almost like a divorcee, to tell you the truth. But just because it didn't work out, doesn't mean that, that they're damaged. You got what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the male that's highly damaged. Or
I think that might be coming from a woman that's damaged from a divorce, though. Like, why would that be on the list? Because women can
because there's a lot of if you watch Kevin Samuels and a lot of the Red Pill and some of them like a manosphere stuff, because most women initiate a divorce and the men want to stay together. So once you start to get into the nuances of why women divorce, then you start to see it's like, why did she divorce for that? That's why didn't she work it out with him? Some women, they know the business aspect and the financial advantages of marriage and divorcing. It's a come up. It's a come up almost. Some women use divorce as a racket to make money off of men. So I know exactly what they mean here, but I take it as a case on case. But yes, I would prefer that you not be a divorcee or ever been previously engaged. Yes, American black women. I will date American black women. I have dated American black women. I'm a guy that always dated black women until I was on a job. I had a white girl that kept asking me to hang out with her. And I didn't know why. Like one day I just figured, I was like, wait a minute, you want me to go? You want to go? I'm like, oh. She was like, because she always used to say, well, we can hang out sometimes. I mean, if you don't mind hanging out with white girls, I mean, one day I was like, why do you keep saying that? She was like, because I don't know if you like white girls. Or I was like, oh, wait. I was like, I'm like, that's fine. She ended up being the first white girl I ever dated. And it was cool. Yeah, she had her problems just like any other woman that I had dated. I've messed with black, Latino, Asian. I've messed with different, women. My whole thing is, are you attractive? Where's your heart? Are you nurturing? Are you easy to deal with. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I need that. Do you bring me peace? Will you be a good mother? At the drop of a dime, could someone say, would you introduce her to your mom? Yes. I have to be able to say that. Yes. You shouldn't have to think about introducing her to your mom or your grandmother or your sister. I don't have a problem with American black women, okay? Because I've met stank women in all races. In all races. I've been here on this planet long enough, 46 years. I've seen stankiness in all of them. You know, so, and and all her friends is black, so I know she ain't got no problem with black women. Women raised in the West, which means here in America.
Okay. I
understand what they mean by this, though, because a lot of women raised over here is just home. I ain't gonna listen to you, and I'm a boss, and I'm gonna do me. You ain't gonna tell me what to do.
There's a lot of men who feel like women don't have the traditional basics down.
That masculinity. We all fall into a particular mold, you know? And it's just funny that when we're given what we need as a man or a woman, it brings out the masculinity in a man and it brings out the femininity in a woman. You know, she was harder when I first started dating her because of what she had been through. She wasn't masculine. She was harder. She was more defensive and protective of herself. It was kind of like, you know what it kind of reminded me of? And she wasn't, physically abused, but it was one of those things that reminded me of how abused pets can be, or even how I was.
Put it like this, it felt like it.
Yeah.
But this ain't about me. So.
She almost had a rant to go on right there. But I've been at this one previous job, and I was in a weakened state. I was homeless. My mom had passed away. I wasn't making no money. I started this new job, and it was a high-pressure job. But the way they treated me there, I told myself that no one will ever talk to me like that again. And it made me more aggressive, more defensive. You know what I'm saying? When dealing with people, I just don't play. No. And it shouldn't have done that to me, but it did. So it hardened me in a certain way as a man to not take no ish. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. So, for her, it was a good thing, but she was applying it to me. And it was like, well, wait, I'm something new. Yeah. So if I behave in that manner that the last one did, then okay, I see what you got to say. Yeah. But as long as I don't, treat me well. So that's what a lot of problems that certain women do have, is that they'll get treated bad, then all men are trash, and then they start treating us all like trash. And it's like, take it case, but that wasn't her. Like that wasn't her. That wasn't her. But they will do that. And it's like, no, somebody I know posted on a couple occasions this whole argument for why women are masculine. And it's because men don't take up their part of masculinity in the relationship. And I say no. Because if she doesn't act feminine enough for me, that doesn't mean I should start acting like this to bring femininity into the relationship. So you shouldn't start acting like a man if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. You don't need to take on masculine qualities to do what you feel is your man's job. And what I hear a lot is the whole paying the bills, leading the family and doing things right. That doesn't mean you have to act like a man. Right. A woman can be feminine, strong, beautiful, intelligent, all those things without mimicking a man's behavior. Right. There we go. So
take on responsibility without being manly about it.
Exactly. So thank you all for joining me. Go watch Scarlo. She just started Miles Morales. Well, make sure you tune in for me. To. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's starting Miles Morales today, and I'm continuing.
He was going nuts last night. I heard him all the way up on the
Spider-Man
third
2
floor.
on the PS5 today. So, thank you for joining me on this, dear.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And pet me.
She likes when I pet her.
No, I don't.
Certain places. Post comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. If you enjoyed our video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!